Good afternoon. My name is Hugh Cruz. I am a Filipino. I was born in 3rd of July 1970 from the Philippines, and I'm here in Cardiff. When I come to Cardiff, I have been recruited from the National Health Service around 2011, so I've been here for about 12 years, and I've been recruited as a nurse. So I'm here working in the NHS trusts and serving the people of Cardiff as a staff nurse. I care for you all. Thank you. I am 42 years old and I was born in 3rd of July 1970, and I came from the Philippines and was born in one of the town in the Philippines called Samar. So it's like a small town in the eastern part of the Philippines where I was born. Child, I think because we are only two in the family. Yeah. I was the eldest, and my little sister, and I was only son for about six years. Then after 6 years, I have my little daughter, my little daughter, my little sister. So it's quite good. We're middle class in there, and we eat 3 times a day. We can buy things. Um, I go to school. It's expensive to go to school back there because you have to pay for your school, even though you're because they want the best of education, so you have to pay. And then when I go to my you know high school, same. The It was really good for me. The childhood was quite good. I have no problem with the good. I have in my hand, because my parents can buy. My mom was a teacher. My dad was an engineer, so they can buy. And I was only one for 6 years, so I had loads of things. And then my sister, after 6 years, and we have also a maid. Is it a maid? A maid, and they can do the chores for us. They can cook. They're the one who bring me to school, and then pick up school. Um, it's quite good there to live back home because they can provide you. It's different here because I can do it as a child, and it was quite good. I have my bike, basketball. So we play basketball. I play around, and we go to the beach because it's an island. There's lots of beach around, and we have fresh foods. Because we live near the sea. Um, that's really good fun in there. Yeah, there are two school. There was a government school which is free, and there's a private school which we can. But most parents there, they want their child to be in the best school. I think that's the culture. I think they do in best school. Yeah, it's yeah. I call they called for girls is called for boys, but what I mean is a mixture of boys and girls school. So it's quite expensive to I don't know how much it's now, but it's quite good. The first I've heard, there were a Filipina who come here about 30 years ago. So you're the one who came down here 30 years ago, and then after that, it was very long period that there's no Filipino coming here, and then that's only the time that the health board came to the Philippines and recruit nurses around 2000 to 2011. They started from that time recruiting nurses to UK. Like myself, the National Health Board came to the Philippines to recruit. At that time, we are 1,500 nurses been recruited, and only 60 of us has been, qualify with their criterias and selection board. So it was really hard to get in because mostly in the Philippines there are loads of nurses, and then they're special because they're really good in it. I think they're trained and they're really caring. I think the culture is quite important with regards to caring because if they're devoted on their work, they're committed on what they have sworn of. So basically, they're really likely to be like a world class healthcare professionals, something like that. I was here since 2011. So since then, there are loads of nurses, not only in Wales, but we are also scattered around UK. So I was been selected to come down here and work as staff nurse down in the trauma ward, and then to accident and emergency, and then after that the health board, or they call it NHS before, go back to the Philippines and recruit again more. I think there are 5 batches. There are five, on Wales alone, 5 rampant recruitment from the Philippines to come down here. Other than that, recently I think we are 250 or more than 360 Filipinos around UK.
Did you know anything about Cardiff or Wales before you came?
No, I didn't know. I only know that it's only London. We only heard about London, and I think that when you go to London, it's like London Bridge is falling down. From my childhood, it was a very a very popular song, and then when we were just thinking of it, not really knowing about there's Wales and things like that. So we only know London. We don't know England or Wales or Northern Ireland. We don't know about it before. Memories, good memories or bad memories.
Both.
I was lost. Riding a car, riding a bus, and also an accent was difficult as well. It's very hard to understand if this is like very very hard to understand, and also when you the bus routes as well was very hard, and there was no Filipino store as well around here, and up to now there is also Filipino store as well. So it's been a need, to have a Filipino store, a Filipino restaurant as well. But in my first come down here, it's really hard. I did walk from town to the hospital where I live initially, because I don't know to get where the bus was, like to go the bus routes. I don't know, and it's very hard. It was that's why my and also when you go to the hospitals and then you see loo. What is the loo? What the loo is? So it's just toilet. So there are loads of things I've learned, from then and now. So it was really good thing for me that I've learned all those languages. No, they usually scattered around citywide. They usually like settle around the workplace, um, and others they want to go out where they are comfortable. So they're not really in one place, but they are all scattered citywide. Since I arrived, it was really good. I think the interesting was the accent, the call this the language, the Welsh language is quite interesting because it's really different. It's quite interesting for me to learn, and also the environment is quite historical. Like when I go to Cardiff, there is a castle in the city itself, in the town. There was a castle, so it was really good to know that before I come here. I think I would categorize him as oh, it's been hard for me since I came. It's been a challenge for me as well since I came, and with my caring profession, I have no problem with regards to caring. But the people is quite hard to get in. Very, very. I don't know. There's something in there which I'm. I think I'm not really. I would say I'm not welcome to the group or to the group when I was starting working in Wales, and it was really hard for me to start with. Um, it was difficult because the first place we don't know about the language, the people, the culture. It's quite hard, and then when you go in there, you have to have this. We call it um, adaptation. Adaptation. We've done an adaptation course to be in the nursing and midwifery council roster, so you have to do that. But in achieving that, it's quite hard. It was quite hard for people like us because of something in there which we need to overcome. We need to stand up and say that. But it's quite hard for me. It's quite hard for me. Mostly we are Catholics. We've been Catholics, and then culture-wise, we usually have I call it Barrio Fiesta. It's like a festival, a Filipino festival, where we held every once a year around June. There was just about a week ago. There was a big UK Filipino festival in London, where it was, I think, I don't know how many people was there, like celebrating the Filipino festival with different cultural dances, food, sharing something, and it was really good. Too many people there in London. It's in Surrey, I think. Yeah, Surrey. In Cardiff, we have like Independence Day. We've celebrated Independence Day. We had just the first Independence Day celebration in Cardiff, which we have raised the flag in Cardiff Castle. We have promoted it in Radio Cardiff before the event. It was been like witnessed by our Lord Mayor and two Welsh government officials to raise the flag in Cardiff Castle. So we usually have a big event like the Independence Day where we usually gathered. It was Filipinos from all over Wales who came to Cardiff just to celebrate and raise the flag. We usually do that. It was 115th day celebration from various colonization in the Philippines. So it was a national event basically, but it was the first time we had it done here. So it was really good. It was really good. Next year, hopefully we can do that. 2 years ago, it was 600 families around Cardiff, but there was students coming in. But I don't know around in North Wales about how many Filipinos are there, because usually there are some recruitment as well around the North Wales end. But I know the South Wales is like that big. I think it's more than 600 now because of the students as well. But students stay here for about 2 years, 3 years. It depends on their visas. But it's quite a big community here in Cardiff, big community. But they are not visible according to what I've heard, because they're not really engaged in community event or in anything. I think they just stay at the home and then work, and then go to the house and then work, go to the house and work. Maybe that's the reason why they still I'm like visible. That is the national language in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But we have our own dialects. We have 100 something dialects. I have my dialects. I have my own dialects. But when we go to other places, we usually use Tagalog. But when you go, if you're in a local area, you use your own dialect. There was in Laniden, or there was in was it the big one in town? Is it St. David's Metropolitan Church? It's a big one in there. So we usually go there, or they go to their local church in their community, like Catholic church. They usually go there. or sometimes they go to the big church like in one in town. So I don't think there is oh yeah, probably is we have any we don't have a Filipino priest here. No Filipino priest.
Okay.
But we have asked our embassy to, but I think we have scarcity of Filipino priests here. So that's we have requested it before as well, but till now we don't have any. We usually bring them to one of the shows, or some movies or films, to show it to them, and then if they have the question, you can they can see it to us as well, and they can ask us how how do they feel, because we usually go home every year, back home every year, so they can they can also know what the Philippine culture is. But the third generation is quite different, because they're the third generation children that they don't know. But the first one is okay. But the third generation, 30 years, the Filipino 30 years ago, as a different culture. So they want their children to go home, and then they want them to mingle with the first generation, the first generation children, because they usually they still have like 50%, and they usually wants to go to these festivals to tell them that this is our culture, this is our dance, this is our national costume, this is our national food. But they usually wants to go back home to the Philippines to have them to see how it's really like. But yeah, the third generation children is quite hard. They have to learn the culture. They speak in English, and they usually mingle with with the culture where they are, and when they go home, they don't, because they're the third. They're a bit away now from the first generation, so the mother is quite concerned that he or she forgets her culture, that she is a Filipino. So that's they have identified that. So they want they want a school, a Filipino school that teaches culture, because they have identified that need, third generation, that they need this, because they forget all those culture and traditions they have as a Filipino. That's they identified. So one of my colleagues told me if we can have a school here that teaches Filipino culture and Tagalog, because they don't really know how to speak Tagalog. They don't know how to pronounce, or they don't know nothing about it. We have our cultural dances. We usually have in our Independence Day we have a dance called the pole dance, and like the coconut shell dance, which it's a different dance from different island in the Philippines. But there is a professional company which we have invited 2 years ago. They called it Lahin Kayo Manggi. It was been sponsored by Lian was there, and sponsored by Noson Night Out. So they're the one who helped me get the funding from them, and they were here, and they were like they want them to come back again. So I'm trying to get the funding on that, and to come down here to show our cultural dance is quite and Night Out people says that can you come can they come every year to show, because they don't really know us with food, with dance. They don't know where are you people, they called. I'm here. Why you alone? But so they want us to get like the Welsh government told me, we don't know you, we don't have anything about you, we don't know who you are, what you are. So that was a really big question to me. I have come in this conference of, what do you call this, the big conference about I think a minority, is it minority, I forget the name. It was a conference held in Novotel, which I forget the name. It's oh
Okay,
I'll
we'll
come back later on.
yeah.
I don't think so. No, because my kid is he had a bilingual award on Welsh. He did well with the Welsh. He's been awarded, the like a big award. It's the food bilingual award, and on his primary days, and now he's been like very good in in Welsh accent and talking with Welsh language in his high school years now, and he's got a very good grade and it's quite a good the accent and this according to his teachers quite good. So I don't think that they're really getting on. They're really getting on with language and everything. On my point, I just want them to get what they want and then support them. So nothing really. But they want them to be they want them to get professional rather than doesn't finish school or something. They want them to finish the school because the parents said that it's your future, so they already encourage them to finish the school and have a job and get settled settled like that. Oh, there was like a rolling store. Not rolling. One of the Filipino guy is like um, ha- buying all these Filipino foods, and then they go house to house, or they ring them, and then if you have Filipino foods here, you can order from me, and then they will deliver it to your house. But I don't know where they get it from. But that's they usually do. And then the Filipinos before welcome us here with a program like a celebration that we had. That's the I have experienced before. Yeah, yeah. They have women before. They have some like married Filipino, Filipina, and then British. They have some from before. I've heard about it, and also because they usually want to work, they don't want any trouble. Just work and work house and work. So they just leave it if there's a problem in work. They just want to say yeah, I can deal with it. I can just because they don't want any trouble. You just only want to work and home, and then you know do the things in as long as they can pay the bills and everything. Everything is even though it's difficult for them, but they pay the basic needs of the family. Then, but they have been prejudiced. They've been issues before. I think the discrimination. There is some sort of discrimination been addressed, been said before, and the first thing is they don't know where to go, so it hasn't been addressed, and the only thing they can do is just talk to the community, and talk to whoever has some people who can help them with regards to the discrimination problems, and it's quite hard for them to fight, um, because it's because I don't know. I think it's the culture because they don't know where to go, and they want their job secured, so they don't want to fight. They will only say yes, even though it's hard to say yes, but they 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 just do it. I think I think it needs to be highlighted as well that there are some agencies, people who can help them with regards to discrimination issues, and I think signposting as well would be good for them. I have been addressed that with because I have been with Priyata Patel, one of the librarian in Central Library. We have talked about it, like translating some like welcome buhay or something like that, translation of little things just to because if it say sometimes you're not welcome, you're not welcome to go there because it's all the languages are there, most of the languages are there, but there's no Filipino translation in one of the words, but you say we're not welcome, so you just didn't go there, You know, I've also talked about Saints Bernardos before, just to have this translation, but it wasn't been addressed basically. So
Okay.
still going forward for that. Yes, we have, because in the NHS it's quite a diverse community. So most, if we have some parties, they usually people meet together. You know, everybody from the wards, from different departments, so meet together. So we usually meetings and parties and social gatherings as well. Yeah, they are welcoming. Yeah, they are in work. But my neighbor is, but my neighbor is not really. He's a bit, he's a bit rough.
Mm.
You know. But otherwise, other people's are okay. Um, I think I think one of the um, for me is an event, to hold an event, because they usually work in, they don't usually go out. They, even though they have their off duty, they work, even though that's the routine for us nurses. They usually work and earn. I think the event would do, like, just to get out from work, like um, uh, a family day or something like that, or um, like a holiday for Filipinos, like Independence Day could be a holiday that all of the Filipinos off from work just to gather in that one particular area. It's only once a year. Um, um, I think that's only one part. And settling down. I think most of the Filipinos think they settle down because they have a job, because they they've been here for a while, and then the only problem I have is the students, because they are in temporary visas, but otherwise all most of us here, I think they are on British uh, passports, because we've been here for about 12 years, more than 12 years, so they're more or less British passport or dual. Um, it's normal like us, there's no change. I mean, if you respect us, it's the same. It's just I told him it's just the language is English, and because we usually speak our native tongue in at home. But it's normal like us. The teaching is the same. Um, the respect is there. There's no change. Um, there's no change with regards to elderly. Tagalog, yeah. Tagalog, yeah. I think the most important is to get them to know. I mean, get them informed, or give them, because we don't know about Cardiff before, but around sometimes we did go to these different historical places, but I don't know. I'm not sure how can they. Maybe an event would be would be good. Like a multicultural event in there, um, addressing all the people. Maybe they can go there, or maybe we can involve them as well in preparation, or in like preparation, or organizing as well, because they is it's because it's because they haven't been pointed out, or because they haven't been said that you can come with us and help us, or engage with us, or share with us. If they've been told that you are been invited, then maybe they can be go to these different places.